Welcome to Crypto Pulse, your daily dose of crypto clarity. Whether you're a seasoned trader or just stepping into the world of crypto, we're here to break down the markets with simple, powerful insights. Today's topic is something every crypto enthusiast should be paying close attention to: Bitcoin's powerful comeback and some shocking moves across the altcoin space. Let's dive right into it. All right, guys, welcome back to another exciting episode. And today we're seeing a very fascinating situation on the charts. Bitcoin is showing some serious strength right now, currently sitting at an incredible $94,000. What's even more exciting is how firmly Bitcoin is holding above the previous resistance, which, as you know, had flipped from support to resistance. And now we've smashed right through it. This signals something major. Bitcoin is truly back in the game. Even if Bitcoin retraces a little to retest that old resistance and turn it into confirmed support, it would actually be very bullish. It would show the market that there's a massive amount of buying demand around 92K, 93K. But honestly, I wouldn't even count on a deep retest. The demand is growing way too fast. Big names are backing it up too. Michael Saylor, for instance, is buying aggressively. Just yesterday, he hinted at another buy, posting his usual bullish charts. For those who know, when Saylor posts the orange dot memes or says, "Stay humble, stack sats," it's basically a countdown to his next Bitcoin buy. Expect a new announcement from him anytime now. And it's not just Saylor. CZ from Binance also hinted at insider optimism, tweeting, "Hope you bought the dip." Clearly, these heavy hitters know something big is brewing. Now, looking at the technicals. Bitcoin recently used the 50-week moving average as perfect support, exactly as predicted. With resistance smashed at multiple levels, the next logical target is the iconic $100,000 mark. There's really not much standing in the way. Sure, a minor touchback to confirm the range is possible, but the most probable path is a fast move upward. I wouldn't even be surprised if Bitcoin shoots up to 96K, 97K today and hits 100K within just a few days. Remember, Bitcoin often moves sideways for long periods, weeks, sometimes months, but when it does move, it moves big and fast. We saw this in previous cycles too, especially last year. Months of boring sideways action followed by explosive runs. Since February, Bitcoin's been consolidating, but just last week, we saw the first real breakout. And history shows, when that first breakout happens, more upside usually follows quickly. But Bitcoin isn't the only story today. Let's talk about SUI, because it's shaking up the entire altcoin market right now. SUI is crashing through major competition. It's overtaking projects like Tron and even Solana when it comes to daily stablecoin transactions. That's huge. And remember, stablecoin usage is a key fundamental metric for real blockchain activity. Most chains, even big ones like Cardano, still struggle to get major stablecoins like USDT or USDC natively integrated. But SUI is leading in at least one major metric, and it's doing it fast. Of course, DEX volumes and other metrics still matter, but this trend is impossible to ignore. SUI is no longer just a small player. It's competing with and beating some of the giants. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. And as you can see right now, we've got a very interesting situation playing out on the charts. Bitcoin is showing some insane strength, currently holding strong around $94,000. What's impressive here is how Bitcoin is maintaining above the previous support-turned-resistance level and absolutely smashing through it. It's a clear sign that Bitcoin is truly back. Even if we pull back a bit to retest that resistance now as support, it would still be a bullish move. It shows that there's significant demand sitting around 93K, 92K, and lower. And speaking of demand, it's only growing. Michael Saylor continues to stack Bitcoin, signaling more buys ahead. Every Sunday when he posts those famous orange dot charts, it usually means another big buy is coming. Meanwhile, CZ also teased, saying, "Hope you bought the dip." Trust me, when someone like CZ hints at something, it's worth paying attention. Technically speaking, we've smashed through resistance, reclaimed the 50-week moving average like clockwork, and the next logical step is clear: 100K. There's very little standing in Bitcoin's way right now. We could see a push to 96K or 97K very soon, and if momentum holds, hitting 100K could happen within days. Remember, Bitcoin tends to move sideways most of the time, but when it starts moving, it moves fast. Just look at last year, months of sideways action, and then an explosive multi-week rally. History could be repeating itself. Now shifting gears a bit, let's talk about SUI. SUI is absolutely on a rampage right now. Even with a small market cap, it's making huge moves thanks to strong stablecoin support and massive volume. In fact, SUI is flipping giants like ETH, Tron, and even Solana in some key daily stablecoin metrics. That's incredible when you realize most chains don't even have stablecoins properly integrated yet, and SUI is pulling ahead aggressively. This brings us to Solana, which, despite the competition, still holds massive short-term opportunity. Solana could even challenge Ethereum's market cap if it continues its current momentum. However, nothing is guaranteed. SUI has proven that even top L1 platforms like Solana aren't invincible. The race is heating up, and when we look at the SUI versus SOL ratio, SUI has absolutely destroyed previous ranges and is approaching cycle highs. At the same time, SOL versus ETH looks strong as ever, with higher highs, higher lows, and a brutal uptrend that shows no signs of slowing. Now, what about Ethereum? Good news there too. An Ethereum Foundation researcher, Dankrad Feist, proposed a new EIP that could scale Ethereum's base layer by 100x over 4 years. If Ethereum devs truly commit to scaling L1 instead of endlessly relying on L2s, it could massively boost ETH's long-term viability. It all depends on whether the Ethereum priests, the devs, influencers, and thought leaders align around this vision. If they do, it could be a game changer. Meanwhile, Solana's message to developers remains clear. We scale L1, no fragmented liquidity, no messy bridges, just fast and reliable infrastructure. That certainty is a huge advantage when developers are betting the future of their projects. And now, a quick reminder. Shout out to everyone watching live. Smash that like. Also, if you want to long or short Bitcoin easily, check out Bybit using the link below. They offer up to 100x leverage, if that's your risk appetite. But remember, always use risk management. Even if you don't want leverage, Bybit's spot trading is top tier, and you can even get the Bybit card to spend your crypto in real life. Support crypto businesses whenever you can. It's how we grow this ecosystem. Now, final thoughts. Recently, some big names like Qiyong Ju from CryptoQuant changed their tune. A month ago, he declared a bear market. Now he admits the market is showing bullish signs again as Bitcoin trades 10% higher. Interestingly, traditional on-chain data seems less reliable these days. Trump's election campaign, tariffs, ETF flows, macro sentiment has taken over. Plus, a lot of Bitcoin is now hidden inside ETFs, making on-chain metrics harder to track. And here's the key. Retail is still missing. Google searches for Bitcoin are near long-term lows. Crypto YouTube engagement is way down compared to 2021. Most retail investors are still out, and that's a huge sign that we are still early in this cycle. Institutions, advisors, and even nations are the ones buying Bitcoin now, not your average retail investor. Retail typically returns after prices have already pumped hard, and right now they're still sleeping. And lastly, Fed printing. Although the Fed isn't easing monetary policy just yet, their balance sheet has stopped shrinking. That's a critical first step. Once we see real money printing start again, that's when altcoin season and the next retail boom could kick off. Until then, stack smart, stay patient, and stay ahead of the curve. Start of the bottom in Fed balance sheet. Right now, the Fed balance sheet shows signs of bottoming. They've stopped selling assets and could soon start buying again. If the balance sheet grows, that's quantitative easing, QE, massive liquidity injection into markets, boosting assets like Bitcoin. Money supply and Bitcoin. Lag money supply is soaring, and Bitcoin typically follows it with a 12-week lag. If history repeats, Bitcoin snapping towards 100K could happen very soon. Momentum is building fast. Willy Woo turns ultra-bullish top on-chain analyst. Willy Woo sees capital flows surging into Bitcoin. His models show that downside risks are shrinking And his short-term target? 108K, aligning with broader bullish sentiment. Citibank enabling crypto trading. One of America's largest banks, Citi, will let clients invest in Bitcoin directly from their accounts. Huge. Boomers hold most of the capital, and now they'll have a one-click crypto on-ramp through trusted advisors and platforms. Bitcoin becomes a strategic asset. 3 years ago, banks and accounting giants ran from crypto. Today, they're embracing it. Companies like Grant Cardone's real estate fund are buying Bitcoin. In 2025, every boardroom is asking, what's our Bitcoin strategy? Why Bitcoin outperforms? Most businesses, historically, Bitcoin grows about 60% per year. If your business or investments can't beat that, you're better off simply buying Bitcoin. Physical businesses face tariffs, taxes, and government control, but Bitcoin is borderless, unstoppable, and outside their reach. Brick and mortar? Just buy Bitcoin. If you're in real estate or brick and mortar businesses, buy Bitcoin. Most traditional businesses can't outpace Bitcoin's growth. Even the biggest capital allocators are waking up to this new reality, fast. Michael Saylor, BlackRock's ETF will be. Michael Saylor predicts the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF will become the largest ETF in the world within a decade. Capital inflows are accelerating, and the pace is only picking up. Pudgy penguins. Soaring. Pudgy penguins. Pengo is exploding. A strong rounded bottom has formed, holders are growing again after the airdrop sell-off, and momentum is back. When coins form this pattern, bottoming and breaking key resistance, it's a classic bullish setup. Risk-on signals. Farcoin. Also pumping Farcoin, FAR, is showing the same bullish structure, round bottom and consistent weekly gains. When smaller coins start flying, it signals risk appetite returning across the market. Bullish vibes are simmering under the surface. Senator McCormick buys Bitcoin, big news. Senator and ex-Bridgewater CEO Dave McCormick bought up to $450K worth of Bitcoin ETFs recently. When politicians have skin in the game, they tend to make smarter pro-crypto laws. We need more McCormicks and fewer Elizabeth Warrens. Panama accepts Bitcoin for taxes. Incredible move. Panama City now allows Bitcoin payments for taxes, fees, and permits. This cuts out the middlemen, makes life easier for crypto holders, and breaks fiat's artificial grip on tax payments. Norway's sovereign fund, massive loss. Norway's wealth fund lost $40 billion last quarter due to tech stock crashes. Will they hedge with Bitcoin? They already hold some indirect exposure through MicroStrategy, and Bitcoin is now outperforming the S&P and NASDAQ on key charts. Bitcoin versus stocks. Outperformance clear. Bitcoin versus S&P, pushing near all-time highs. Bitcoin versus NASDAQ, already broke an all-time high last week. Traditional stock investors are realizing you need Bitcoin exposure to survive the new financial world. During this period of tariffs and uncertainty, it's clear. If you had Bitcoin, you're doing great. Bitcoin versus gold is also looking strong. It seems we're pushing into a bottom just as we predicted. Remember, a few weeks back we drew that line, saying Bitcoin versus gold was getting supported by the long-term trend, and here we are. The trend is fantastic. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and now we're poised for the next explosion higher. This is a major takeaway. In times of worry, Bitcoin shines as a fantastic hedge, way better than stocks, and now even challenging gold. Plus, you can store it yourself, send it worldwide. It's beautiful. Now before Q&A, quick update, Nike's NFT issue. Nike, or Nike, however you say it, is facing a $5 million lawsuit over the artifact NFTs. Not because they deleted the NFTs, that's impossible, but because they removed the metadata. Basically, they didn't pay for Cloudflare hosting, so now when you open the NFT, you just see a Cloudflare error. Ridiculous. Will the lawsuit succeed? Who knows? Lawsuits take forever. Inflation eats into the payout. Maybe they'll settle for a smaller amount. We'll see. But it's a shame because Artifact was a big project before Nike bought it and then just dropped it. All right, guys, let's move into Q&A. Quick recap. Bitcoin is looking super strong. After months of sideways movement, last week was our first real pump. And normally, one pump week leads to several pump weeks. So, very likely, we're headed towards 100K if we come back and retest. The breakout area, 92K, it would be textbook. Test, confirm, and smash to 100K. Either way, Bitcoin's strength right now is clear. Quickly about Web3. Someone asked if Web3 is dead. Honestly, I don't even like the term Web3. It's crypto, guys. Web3 was just a marketing gimmick when crypto had a bad rep. It's all crypto. DeFi, NFTs, wallets. It's crypto. Don't be ashamed to call it that. Every time someone tries to define Web3, you get 100 different answers. It's confusing. Just say crypto. Everyone understands. Simple. Also on new coins. Right now, Bitcoin focus is key. Once Bitcoin dominance starts to fall, altcoins will get spicy. If I had to pick one coin right now besides Bitcoin, it'd be Solana. Why? Still undervalued compared to Ethereum clear roadmap. Scale up, reduce latency, increase bandwidth. Huge. User base low uncertainty compared to newer chains like SU. If you want to be ultra safe long term, Bitcoin is still king. But if you want higher risk, reward, Solana is looking very good. All right, guys, thanks for being here. Smash the like button. Check the Bybit link below and let's roll into Q&A. See you soon. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye.